I'm going to walk you through a dish that's called Mar y Montaña, sea and mountain, which is sepia, cuttlefish, kind of like squid, and meatballs. And I completely stole the entire recipe from kind of a famous Spanish cook and video blogger called El Cocinero Fiel, who I highly recommend. So, but I'm just kind of doing this recipe in English for those of you who might have trouble with his recipe in Spanish.
And here are the ingredients. So you have sepia, or cuttlefish, the albondigas, which are already made, onion and garlic, a little bit of flour, tomato. First I'm going to cut up the sepia and I'll boil that for 15 minutes. It's already fairly clean, as you can see. Usually it's got a skin on it. So I've sliced up the cuttlefish and I'll let that boil for, as I said, 15 minutes in a little bit of salted water with a bit of oil. Okay, next I'm going to flour the meatballs. Just roll them around a little bit of flour. Got a little bit of salt and pepper in the flour here. With calamares, squid, and stuff like cuttlefish, the trick is you have to cook it a lot or a little bit. Like you fry it for a couple of seconds, or you have to cook it for quite a bit. That's why we're boiling this for 15 minutes before we throw it into the dish. One other ingredient that I forgot earlier is we're going to add some peas to this dish at the very end. Okay, my handy dandy digital timer tells me it's been 15 minutes. Best kitchen device ever. One of them anyway. So we'll take the cuttlefish out of the boiling water. And the trick is we're going to save the water because we're going to use a couple cups of this to cook with the sauce. So see, I think if you ate this cuttlefish right now, it would be really rubbery. It hasn't cooked long enough. But we're going to cook it again, so it'll get tender again. Like I said, if you cook it a little bit, if you deep fry it quickly, it's tender. If you cook it just a couple of minutes, or if you cook it, like 15 minutes, it's going to be a little rubbery. But we're going to cook it again. So I'll fry up the meatballs a little bit, and then we'll take those out of the oil and put them aside along with the cuttlefish. So we've cooked the meatballs a bit, fried them and taken them out of the oil. Now we're going to add the onion and garlic. I drained a little of the oil because there's way too much. Onions and garlic in the oil. So I might have left a little too much olive oil in with these onions, if that's even possible. But one thing about Mediterranean cooking that you're just not getting here is the incredible smell of the onion and garlic. And soon I'm going to add the tomato and then white wine, which to me is the essence of Mediterranean cooking. Onion, garlic, olive oil, tomato, white wine. That's, to me, as I've said many times before, it smells like every Greek village, every Greek kitchen I ever walk by, and a window is open in the summer and you walk by and you get a whiff of what they're cooking. Next I'm going to add some tomato and let that cook in. Heat up. Okay, this is when it really gets good. This is when I'm going to add a big glass of white wine to this. And we'll let this reduce a bit. Burns off all the alcohol, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whatever point you look at. I've added a bit of salt to this, a bit of oregano, and some red pepper flakes, just because I'm not Spanish and I like spicy food. So if you don't have one of these things, excuse me, if you don't have one of these little things in your kitchen, which is a Le Creuset heat-proof spatula, you really need to get one, because it's one of the best kitchen tools you're ever going to have. Besides the electric timer I have, the digital timer, and chef tongs, which no one uses in Spain. So we're letting this reduce a couple of minutes. And then we're going to add the sepia and the albóndigas, the meatballs. Looking really good, smells wonderful. So that's cooking really well. We're going to add the sepia. And the albóndigas, the meatballs. Excuse me, pardon the noise. Mix that up. And then we're going to add a couple cups of the reserved liquid that we boiled the sepia in. And we'll let that cook for about, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe. Then we'll add the peas. Let that cook for another 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been cooking maybe about 10 minutes. And the sepia could go a little bit longer. Just tested it, and it's sort of tender, but it could cook a little longer. Just make sure we'll add the peas. And that just needs to cook a couple minutes, and should be it.